Hey guys, what's up? This is Matt from Generic Film Studios giving you the very first generic review, which will, of course, as you can plainly see, be Jak and Daxter, Precursor Legacy, PS2. It's the greatest hits, of course, as you can clearly read. Um, and it makes sense, doesn't it, that my first PS2 game would be the first game that I review. And yeah, the main things that I'll touch on in my game reviews in this order will be graphics, presentation, which are two different things, but I'll get into that, gameplay, and story. But for older games like this, I will also do lasting appeal, which includes replay value, but also how well the game is aged. So, let's get right into it. Okay, okay, we'll start with graphics. Now, for these older games, graphics, I won't rate too much. I won't dock it off too much for graphics, but the graphics for this game are extremely stylized. This was the first Naughty Dog game that was not Crash Bandicoot, which Crash Bandicoot, as many people would know, is an extremely popular older franchise and still going on today, but now it's getting a little iffy. But I haven't played the newer ones, but I don't think I need to. Jak and Daxter, the graphics are very stylized, as you can see from the case. Like Jack's, Jack's facial character. It's extremely stylized. The eyes are a little weird, but I mean, I love characters. Characters are the main thing for me. The story is driven by the characters. Anything is driven by the characters because I want to be an actor. So, as an actor, the thing that I pay most attention to are the characters. Um, then, for the characters' facial expressions are pretty well done, especially for 2001. Naughty Dog is, I mean, especially after Uncharted, Naughty Dog is famous for nailing facial expressions, characters, character animation, things like that. And though this isn't up to par with the Uncharted's, this is still pretty good, especially for 2001, where really not many people were spending all that much time on character models. I mean, really. Now, obviously, the character's a little stylized. The style can be a little weird at first, but you get used to it pretty quickly, so I'm not really gonna dock off for that. And then you've got uh, textures. Textures, I don't want to say that textures are really good, but Naughty Dog found a way in this game, I think, to get around having to work with textures, because all the environments are like one solid thing. Like, if you go into, there's a jungle area, everything is pretty much seamless, and it's presented in a way that you don't have to have detail, which I think is really smart. It's kind of a cop-out, but it kind of works. um, and then, yeah, so, characters look good as soon as you get used to the style. Graphics look good as soon as you get used to the style. Presentation. Okay, presentation. Um, this game has hella different environments. The environments are extremely varied. There's beaches, jungles, volcanoes, laboratories, places you ride around in on the Zoomer, uh, Misty Island, which really fits into its own category. It's kind of like spooky. It's like Island meets Haunted Mansion kind of thing. I don't know. It's kind of tough to explain. If you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't played it, so yeah, presentation is good. Um, I will say, to this game's credit, as far as presentation goes, there are almost no load times in the entire thing, which is really awesome for a 2001 game. I mean, if you can think about all the games that were made in 2001, this is practically an open world game, and unless you go through a portal or you die, there are no load times. If you're just seamlessly going through the world, now there will be a couple of spots where the game will freeze for a second and load, but that really doesn't happen too often, and that's kind of to avoid, like, and it's always followed by like a huge pop-up in the background, but it's 2001 game. I mean, again, it'll come off a little bit for that, but it's still a really good game. Gameplay. Okay, gameplay. Now, actually, you know what? We'll keep going on presentation. Presentation, as far as it goes here, presentation is extremely fluid. Cutscenes feel like, there's no little to no difference between gameplay graphics and cutscene graphics, and the presentation is seamless. It goes through. Um, you won't feel like there won't be a moment where you're like going through and there'll be stop cutscene now. Okay, keep going. But because it's very seamless, it flows well. Okay, gameplay. The gameplay for this is basic. You walk around with the joysticks. Square, circle, or punch and kick. X is jump and double jump, which hell knows how we can do that, but I won't, yeah, I won't complain about it. Triangle is looking through your binoculars. Um, and you basically just go around, fight stuff with really basic physical attacks. It is extraordinarily simple. And you do that with the exception of a couple of small mini games, like there's a fishing mini game in the forest. It is extraordinarily simple, but it works. It's kind of like Pokemon in the sense that you're going to get used to it very, very quickly, but it doesn't really ever lose its charm or its luster. It's very. You'll get used to it extremely quickly, but you'll never get tired of it. And it's very simple, but it works in a way that a lot of more complicated control schemes couldn't. And the gameplay, you've got the basic running around, punching, and jumping that I told you about. There's a lot of platforming, which is good. I like platforming. There's a couple of puzzles, but they're all pretty simple. Um, and then there's a lot of there are moments where you have to zoom around on a zoomer, which is pretty much it's a hovercraft that for some reason can't change its axis, but that changes in the sequels anyway. Um, and you just ride around on it, and you like run into things. You can't shoot. There aren't any weapons in this game other than yellow eco and other than the ecos. Oh yeah, the ecos. Green eco gives you health. Blue eco makes you faster, and it makes you like magnetize objects around you, which is actually really cool. Red eco makes you stronger, makes all your attacks I think like two or three times as powerful, something like that. And yellow eco, you can shoot it, and that helps with the binoculars. The binoculars, when you have yellow eco, kind of work like a sniper cam almost. Uh, yeah, and that's gameplay. Boss fights are really, really well done. It's basic boss fight setup. Um, if you play it, I mean, it's very fun. Um, it's basic, dodge, 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 hit. Oh no, repeat pattern, dodge, 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 hit, But, there's nothing wrong with that. Story. Story is simple at the beginning. Near the end, it starts to get a teeny bit more complicated. You have to go around collecting these power cells because your friend Daxter fell into Dark Eco and has been turned into what they call an Otzel. And you have to go and find the guy in the north to change it back. And you have to get power cells to fuel. They come up with various excuses why you need to get power cells to go to the next place. But it ends out the guy that you're looking for is evil, and he's the main villain, and you have to take him out. And it's a simple story. It's pretty much just enough of a story to keep you interested and drive you through the game. So yeah, all in all, I would give this game a and lasting appeal. It still works, obviously. Like I said, I play it a lot to this day. Yeah, it's an if you're bored game. Um, all in all, 9 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it is by far one of the better games on the PS2. And yeah, if you haven't played it, pick it up. It's really, really good, and so are the sequels. Um, that's pretty much it. This has been Matt from Generic Film Studios. In review, Jack and Daxter, Precursor Legacy. And I'll see you guys later with my next review. See you later.